Yo, what it do, man? It's your boy Lamar, and we back, baby, with another episode. I don't know what episode this is. Kind of really tired of doing all the episodes and stuff like that. I'm just going for what I know. And this ain't even really for social media. This is just me just documenting my process, talking myself through it. And if somebody else can learn from it, you do what you can with that information. But we are not soliciting. We just we just doing what we do, man. Um, just bought another property. Um, uh, I think my rehab on this one. Let me show you the property. We go. So we got my property right here. I got this house for 165. I believe I could sell it for maybe about 250, 255 at the lowest. I believe it might be worth 245. 245, 240. That's what I'm preparing myself for. The comps, you do have comps in the area, but the comps are not, they're not heavy. This is a house that's been on the market it's been on the market like 3 times in the last 6 years. So it does have a downhill slope, but other than that, it's a great house. I did run into a particular issue though. So I had a rehab, and as we look through the pictures, you'll see, what kind of concerns I had. So you see the plumbing, you see drywall missing, you see cabinets missing, all that good stuff. So I perceived it as a plumbing issue. They took up all the flooring, they took up all of this type of stuff. So I perceived it as a plumbing issue. But you really can't check if it's a plumbing issue until you buy the house and you get the water turned on. So got the water turned on, had my guys check it out. They're like, yo, we don't we don't we don't see a plumbing issue. So they put the house back together, they put drywall back up, they fixed the plumbing. We good to go. But me, I'm knowing it gotta be something. It gotta be something going on here. For them to take that drywall out at a certain height, take all the plumbing out, take the toilets out, take all the the shower assembly out. I'm like, nah, it gotta be an issue somewhere. What I did was, so normally you can tell if a house is on a septic by the zip code. And when you got houses in 30012, you would assume that that's closer to the city. So you might not have a septic. And if you have a house in a 30094, you like, okay, that house is 9 times out of 10 going to have a septic. So I didn't really think nothing of it because it's in 30012. And that is closer to the downtown area, which means that, the city takes care of all that type of stuff. You're going to be on public sewer, not have to have a septic tank. So that's just been my thinking the whole time. But see, what I did right was I budgeted for worst case scenario on the plumbing. I didn't have a plumbing issue. Come to find out, I have a septic tank issue. And that makes all the sense in the world as to why they had to take all the plumbing out, and they took drywall out even where it wasn't plumbing. So that basically said the whole house flooded. And that's just good to know information, because if you got a plumbing leak, chances are you only gonna have to take drywall out in that particular area. But the whole house flooded from a septic tank issue. And septic tank is located right here. So as you can see, the house really not in bad shape. We got a 25K rehab, roof is good. We're gonna do some trim work on the outside, cut the bushes, cut all the, do some yard work, all that good stuff, keeping the appliances, took out all the flooring, we painted, gonna glaze the tub, the shower. I think I gotta replace a couple lighting. But I should be under under my rehab of 25,000. We're gonna reglaze this, all that type of stuff. So what I did was I called a septic tank company out, and you know, he tried to tell me, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I'm gonna show you this this estimate he gave me. Share this tab instead. So he gave me this estimate $5,600, and I budgeted for 65 on my plumbing. Technically speaking, I'm under that still. But I didn't go for this all the way. I have another company coming out tomorrow. He was just like, "Oh, you went with Rooter Plus, huh?" And he was like, "I bet they charge you $5,000." So I'm assuming he probably know he can come in less than that and still get away with get away with a high fee. But he said 5,000. I'm at 5,600. So I'm gonna play it still like, man, they had me at 4,800, and I'm gonna see if I can get him down to 3,500. So, that just goes to show, like, I did my due diligence. I had my plumber go out there and all that type of stuff. And come to find out, it wasn't a plumbing issue. And all I had to do was check right here. Well, you got this right here. Let me share my screen again. So this little area right here, where it says septic tank, and that's something that's like one of the first things I check. But with it being a zip code of 30012 and me knowing that, hey, this is a city zip code, I kind of, assumed that it didn't have a septic tank. But now thinking, because of the water, well, the electrical and the gas is with another county, and the water is with Rockdale County, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, this is where we at. We're still gonna be on budget and for the rehab and everything, but this is one of those things that I didn't budget for, and well, I kind of did budget for, but here we are. And let me just kind of give you a look at, like, how I look for comps as well. So you want to go within for the most part, you want to go within a half-mile radius. I just think anything as close as you possibly can to the house. So we got 1430 Country Lane. We'll do a half-a-mile radius. In a half-a-mile radius, we're gonna do active under contract, pending, and close. And this number right here should increase. So it increased to 5, and that's within the last 180 days. So that's what? That's 6 months. The last 6 months of what's been sold. Okay, so you got my house right here, and then what I do, I go to distance, I change the distance, and then you got 186, you got, my house is a 3.2, 1,600 square foot house. Mine's gonna pop up, and then you got this one right here. This was a 1,800 square foot house, but it's a 4.2, so they're at 260, and that house sold in October. It took 14 days. So I would probably be, like I said, I probably think I should have to be around $10,000 less than this. And let's just go to the rehab and see. Now, see, they don't have an enclosed garage. I have an enclosed garage. So you kind of, you add on for yours because you got an enclosed garage. And let's look at the rehab. Rehab really good. No complaints about the rehab. I think this is a standard rehab. Looks good. No complaints at all. So yeah, I think this is, so yeah, I think I'm a little bit under this. And then you got a 242. This is 29131 Randolph Court, 1,500 square feet house, sold in August. So yeah, so I think I'm around 250, 255, somewhere around there. Pretty good rehab. They didn't have appliances. I'm gonna have appliances, so that's something to add for mine. Yeah, pretty much the same kind of rehab I'm doing. Yeah, damn near identical. Yep. So what we got right here? What we got? Let's take a look. How many days on market? 18 days on market. Hey, I should be good. And especially if I price it right, if I price it at that 250 mark, I should be good. And this is an as-is property. I got mine for 165. And hell, I think I got a great deal. Cause my house is in better condition than this one. And I got mine for 165, but I can't give you that sauce. And this one right here, that's a 4.2. trailer. It's over 230. So yeah, that makes sense. So yeah. But yeah. Yeah, just a little scenario I had today, and just feel like I get on here and talk about it. And we gonna keep grinding. Stay tuned, stay focused. Peace.